I would have loved having these materials or having TED Talks when I was teaching business English at a manufacturing company in Japan. Of course, business people have certain tasks that they need to perform in English, and that requires some specialized instruction. But there's a huge amount of English that's used around business in socializing, or just often talking about the news of the day with your colleagues in the office, that business people need. So it's not just about closing the deal or negotiation skills. Those are the sort of high-profile business English skills that people think of, but there's so much more than that business people need and business people want. My experience is that business people often, or professionals, like to talk about ideas around their area of work. They like to talk about how something related to their work is presented in the media, for example. Often they disagree with how things are presented in the media. So finding connections between TED Talks and people's working lives is easier than you might think. In fact, a lot of TED Talks are explicitly aimed at business. The connections there are obvious. But if you're looking at a more obscure talk, like one that I really like called You Think You Know Who I Am, Think Again. It's about image and identity, Hiten Patel and Yu Rao. That one, you could say, is very artistic and in many ways not obscure, but not an obvious business topic. But talking about image and identity is something that fits in with your persona at work, or ideas about brand identity or product identity, things like this. So I can really see that as a rich vein to mine in a business English environment. People like to talk, professionals like to talk about ideas and intellectual engagement.
Yeah, I think that's right. There are lots of ideas that, good ideas that are out there that TED presenters make, which then easily segue into business topics or business discussions. But there are perhaps three other things, three extremely useful things for business learners or professional learners in the books. The first one is a presentation skills syllabus. So after each talk, we pick out a technique that seemed particularly prominent, that seemed particularly well done from the talk, some area of presenting a presentation skill, that we then focus on and then give the students a little chance to practice in a non-threatening way. And that's important because it's not just useful for formal presentations. These skills are useful also for presenting yourself more generally and presenting your ideas and persuading people of your ideas more generally, which is something, of course, business people have to do. The second element, one I really like actually, is the review units. Every 2 units of the book, there's a review unit, normal kind of thing, going over the language that was presented in the previous 2 units. But those are framed within a case study of a company or an organization that's making a difference. So where in the TED Talk itself, you've got an individual presenting an idea that they hope will make a difference, an idea they think is worth sharing with others. The review units have a company that's doing something different, that's actually changing the way we do business or changing an approach to a system, a way something is organized. And those are really nice. And the last thing is an online element, which is very strong. So there's going to be a whole other 40 talks, different talks that aren't actually in the books, but other talks that have been selected for their relevance to business, and they focus either on a job field, or sorry, an industry field like pharmaceuticals or telecommunications, or a particular job function like marketing or human resources or R&D or something like that. And there are worksheets then which exploit the language in the talk and then take it further and develop language important or specific vocabulary important or useful to that field. So there's a lot, in fact, for the business learner here.